right. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We are back.
Shabbat Shalom.
Continuing with our triennial Torah portion. This week, we are continuing in the book of Deuteronomy. We'll be looking at Deuteronomy chapter 9. There's two kind of basic things that we'll look at within the chapter. And this week's chapter begins with crossing over today. Crossing over today. So we're going to go ahead and get started straight away over here. I'll go ahead and pull up the chapter. We'll go ahead and read straight through it, and then we'll go back and look at a few main points. If anybody has any questions, comments, drop them down in the comment section. Go ahead and share this video. Hit the like button so that people can catch up on what we're doing over here. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen here. Deuteronomy 9. Okay. Alright. Go ahead and read nice and loud.
And it says, Hear, O Israel, you are passing over the Jordan today to go in to dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourself, cities great and walled up to the heavens, a people great and tall, the descendants of the Anakim, whom you know and of whom you heard it said, who does stand before the descendants of Anak. And you shall know today that Yahweh your Elohim is he who is passing over before you as a consuming fire. He does destroy them and subdue them before you. So you shall dispossess them and destroy them quickly, as Yahweh has said to you. Do not think in your heart after Yahweh your Elohim has driven them out before you, saying, because of my righteousness, Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land. But it is because of the wrong of these nations that Yahweh is driving them out from before you. It is not because of your righteousness or the uprightness of your heart that you go in to possess their land, but because of the wrong that these nations, that Yahweh Elohim, drives them out from before you, in order to establish the word which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and Jacob. And you shall know that Yahweh your Elohim is not giving you this good land to possess because of your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget how you provoked to wrath Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness. From the day that you came out of the land of Mizraim until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. Even in Horeb, you made Yahweh wroth, so that Yahweh was enraged with you to destroy you. When I went up into the mountain to receive the tablets of the stone, the tablets of the covenant which Yahweh made with you, then I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread, nor did I drink water. Then Yahweh gave me 2 tablets of stone, written with the finger of Elohim, and on them were all the words which Yahweh has spoken to you on the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And it came to be, at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, that Yahweh gave me the 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. Then Yahweh said to me, Arise, go down quickly from here, for your people whom you brought out of Mizraim have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded image. And Yahweh spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and look, they are a stiff-necked people. Leave me alone, so that I destroy them, and blot out their name from under the heavens, and make of you a nation stronger and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked and saw that you have sinned against Yahweh, your Elohim, and had made for yourselves a molded calf. You had quickly turned aside from the way which Yahweh had commanded you. And I took the 2 tablets and threw them out of my way, out of my 2 hands, and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before Yahweh, as at the first, 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread, and I did not drink water, because of all your sins which you committed in doing evil in the eyes of Yahweh, to provoke him. For I was afraid of the displeasure and rage with which Yahweh was wroth with you, to destroy you. But Yahweh listened to me that time once more, and Yahweh was very enraged with Aaron to destroy him. So I prayed for Aaron at that time also. And I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and crushed it and ground it very small, until it was as fine as dust. And I threw its dust into the stream that came down from the mountain. And at Taberah, and at Massa, and at Kibroth, and at Hataawah, you made Yahweh wroth. And when Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you, then you rebelled against the mouth of Yahweh your Elohim, and you neither trusted him nor listened to his voice. You have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. So I fell down before Yahweh the 40 days and 40 nights. For I fell down because Yahweh had said he would destroy you. And I prayed to Yahweh and said, O Master Yahweh, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, whom you have ransomed in your greatness, whom you have brought out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. Do not look on the stubbornness of this people, or on their wrong, or on their sin, lest the land from which you brought us should say, because Yahweh was not able to bring them to the land which he promised them. And because he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. And they are your people and your inheritance, whom you brought out by your great power and by your outstretched arm.
All right. Very good. So, when we look at this, I guess we'll start down here. While we're here, with this whole situation with, first of all, Moshe is kind of back to, at this point, to retelling parts of what the people went through in the wilderness, all for a point. The point that this blessing that the people are about to receive to go over, to cross over into the land, doesn't have anything to do with the rightness or the goodness of the people. Because the people was actually a wicked people. They're a stiff-necked, stubborn people. Okay? Full of sin.
Sinful.
So it don't have nothing to do with the righteousness of the people, and the example that he brings up is, pretty serious example, the golden calf situation. When you look back at the golden calf situation, this was one of those moments where the Most High, he was done with these people. He literally, just had spoken to them. He had, given them his Torah. He spoke with them from on top of the mountain. The first thing that he says to them, is in fact, introducing himself, expressing who he is. And the second thing was, don't be out here carving no images. and the first thing that these people do is carve an image. Now, one thing that I just didn't never even think about, even until we was just reading this, is when we look back, if we go back to verse 20, where, just from me just not even thinking about it, I remember the Most High saying, who is going to serve me? Moses tells Moses through the Most High tells the people, whoever going to serve Yahweh, you stand over here. And Aaron and the Levites, it seems, just from my memory, I didn't even look back over there, is the ones who says, we stand with Yahweh. But it feel like this over here, this verse 20, gives us kind of a behind the scenes situation dealing with the fact that Moses is saying that Aaron was in trouble. First of all, he's the one who did all of this. Like, we know that from the text that Aaron made the golden calf. He was the one that was in charge of the situation, and he for whatever reason, probably fear of the people, decided to go ahead and make this golden calf. But we see over here that it says that Yahweh was enraged with Aaron to destroy him specifically, not just the people, but Aaron specifically. So I prayed for Aaron at that time also. I thought that was interesting, that we have this seemingly addition, more information to the to what happened. Like I said, I didn't look back over at this to even know if we hit any mention about Aaron, back in Exodus chapter 32. I'm just kind of glancing over it right now, turn back to it. But it seems as if, this is some, if anybody has any thoughts, put it in the comment. It seems as if, this is some added knowledge that Moshe is giving in regards to, first of all, the Most High's intention towards Aaron, knowing that he was the one who drops the ball and introduced this whole golden calf to the situation. But not only that, but that Moses, makes a special prayer for him. Who's to say this special prayer, reaches the Most High, and through the Most High, he deals with Moses in his heart. Aaron in his heart, causing him to move over to the other side, because he definitely, he was in big transgression with this whole golden calf situation. I like to talk about Aaron and his 3 strikes. This thing that he did here, this is strike 1. So I just thought that it was interesting, that we look over here and we see over here this, Moses' concern for his brother, because Moses can't know who did what. He's up there on the mountain with the Most High. Just from memory, thinking back, he the Most High speaking to Moses and it's saying, your people, they down there, they going crazy. I'm gonna kill them. But he can't know. Moses can't know that Aaron is the one that's leading the charge of debauchery. So it's almost as if the Most High has to tell him this, right? He knows. Moses knows that the Most High was in fact enraged with Aaron, and along with all of the people, Moses stands in the gap for not only his brother who's in charge, but also all of the people, because again, the Most High at this point is saying he is ready to wipe all the people out. His word is still true if he just goes ahead and continues on with Moses. He's done with these people. But we're able to see through this here golden calf situation. And another thing, this thing was so severe that not only did Moses have to, plead with the Most High to keep these people alive, but following this, he has to plead with the Most High to get the Most High to actually have his presence lead and guide the people through the wilderness. Because after this, the Most High said, I'm not even going with you through the wilderness. I'm going to send my messenger to lead you. I'm out of it. And so Moses got to plead for Aaron. He's got to plead for the people. And he's also got to plead the Most High that he come back and return, his presence to the people. Mm-hmm. And so there's a huge kind of a pivot point in the situation when we look at this whole golden calf situation. And Moses, proves to the people that he's speaking to. Again, he begins with talking about the fact that, your righteousness is not the reason, right? But he proves to the people that we need the Ruach HaKodesh. We need something greater than ourselves to make it in this walk, because we quickly forgot and made an idol, the golden calf. If we look down at let's see, if we go up here to verse number 12, read verse 12 for us again.
12 says, Then Yahweh said to me, Arise, go down quickly from here, for your people whom you brought out of Mitzrayim have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded image.
It said they have quickly turned aside. Like it wasn't even a thought. Moses was gone for however long he was gone in his little journey. I mean, it's like if the people know he's going off into the mountain to speak with the Most High, why did they even get into this thing with the golden calf? It's like they can't just wait for him to come back. Like, what is this thing that they did? It says that they have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. And so, again, it's showing that we need that spiritual intervention in our lives to strengthen us and cause us to be able to even be faithful in this walk. Because, simply mentally knowing what it is that the Most High would have for us to be doing, is not enough to counteract our carnal desires. It's not enough to do it. Our carnal desires are such that if we don't have some type of limiter, if we don't have some type of thing that's going to dilute our carnality within us, it's going to take over. It's going to take over. Okay. What is it? Oh, go ahead.
I mean, when I see, and not putting anybody out there, but when I see leaders who used to be very big on deliverance ministry now drink in front of people while drinking like heavy alcohol while reading the Bible or talking about the Bible, when they were once in deliverance ministry, especially, it shows that if you don't have accountability and people who aren't just shaking their head but actually holding you accountable, that anyone is subject to Aaron's demise or fall.
Yeah.
And again, we do know that Caleb's dad, what was it? Oh my goodness. Ben-Hur was never heard from again after Moses left. So Aaron was under a lot of pressure and strain at that time.
Yeah.
And he probably saw someone go down before it. But it's hard to, you could just see and know that it don't matter how far or how high you are, there's always room for you to fall down.
Yeah.
If you don't watch your step.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, we have to account for our, the way in which we were made. We were made to be connected spiritually to the Most High. And so because of the fact that we are disconnected from the Most High, our carnality will always prevail. Mm-hmm. Our carnality will always prevail until we are reconnected back to the one that we were created to be connected to. And so we, it's hard. It's hard, when you look at people. We put expectations on people that I guess we probably shouldn't. Because, at the end of the day, people are people. People should do better. Certain people should do better. People who are, people that are looked to from others, should hold themselves to a higher standard. And, those with a particular understanding are able to differentiate. But, lesser people aren't able to. And so when, say, I see someone that, is supposed to be a leader of people doing this or that, it's going to cause me to do that. It's going to cause me to say, well, look, he's doing it. I could do it too. But everybody isn't the same. And so if I'm able to sit down and have a glass of something or whatever and not get to the point where I'm like, totally done lost control, that's a thing. But I can't count on everybody who's able to see me, that they are able to have the same self-restraint within themselves. Mm-hmm. And so, you have to think about those things. You have to think about the fact that, when the things that we do, everybody's, not the same. And so I think we even ourselves have to be able to think about the fact that other people are watching, and we're all just human, and we can't, you know, place these stumbling blocks in the way of other people. We can't, take our liberties.
That's right.
And our liberties be the thing that cause others to fall. But when we think about Aaron, let's see what this comment says over here for Aaron and the entire nation to hear that y'all wanted to destroy their high priest who is still serving in that office must have been humbling for Aaron. Yeah. I mean, to know that you've escaped judgment is kind of a wonderful thing. At this point in the game, Aaron's already gone, right? But again, looking at this in its totality, Moses for us helps us to, he pictures for us Yeshua. The fact that we need Yeshua to get by. The fact that knowledge, having a particular mental understanding is not enough. We need something more, right? Because they literally they heard the Most High, and the fact that these, as the scripture calls them, these stubborn people take it to this level. At the end of the day, it's understandable because, again, these are people who lack that main ingredient, which is that Ruach HaKodesh. Let's see. Anyone can fall. Leadership is held at a higher level of responsibility to resist carnality. Yes, absolutely. And that was the thing with Aaron. And that was the thing with Moses. At the end of the day, this is why Moses don't make it over into the kingdom. He don't make it over into the land because of his higher level of responsibility. He did a thing that somebody else could have done and maybe brought an offering or something, right? Or
That's hard.
Yeah, beg for forgiveness. It would have been fine. But because of the higher level of responsibility that Moses has, he, understanding his relationship with the Most High, he should have been able to behave in a better way than what he did. And so, here we are in terms of, looking at Deuteronomy chapter 9, Moses instructing the people, as they get ready to go in, and he gets ready to, to basically watch them go in. Let's see here. So, again, if we go down, let's go down real quick. We'll go back to the top shortly here, but I wanted to just look, and we see over here that Moses, if we go back, let's read verse 27 again.
27 says, "Remember your servants, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Do not look on the stubbornness of this people, or on their wrong, or on their sin."
Okay, so Moses here is talking to Israel, reminding the people to remember those that came before them, because they have more to do with the people going into the land than the actual people.
Yeah.
Because when we look at the people are in fact a stubborn people, and we see that we see where that gets the people, right? And so the only hope for this people was through the mediator, right? Or else they would have received the wrath of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
They would have got the wrath if it wasn't for the mediator. And again, we look at Moses, we look at the role that he plays over here as the mediator. He helps for us to see what it is that Yeshua has done and will continue to do for us, his people.
Mm-hmm.
We need that mediator to speak on our behalf, right? And Moses was the epitome of that. But we want to go back and look at this a little more. If we go back up, because again, when we think about the fact that Moses here is dealing with telling the people about themselves based on their actions, right? He makes the case, it's not your righteousness. It don't got nothing to do with the things that you're able to do, because you're a stiff-necked, stubborn people, right? The people of Israel have proven themselves to be unrighteous as a whole. And so let's go back up to the top and look at a few things leading up to the points that Moses is here making, because there's a couple things that I wanted to look at over. If we go back up to verse 1, where it talks about, here, let's just read again verse 1.
Hear, O Israel, you are passing over the Yarden today to go into a dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourself, cities great and walled up to the heavens.
Cities that are great and walled up to the heavens. Some verses say fortified to heaven. Let's see what King James, what the King James says here. Oh, fence up to the heaven. And so when we look at this, this is not to say that they had fences that literally were up to the heavens, right? These were just tall fences, right? They were big, tall, very tall fences. When we think about the thought process, anything that wasn't on earth, it was in the air, it was in the sky, right? If it was not on the ground, it was in the heavens, right? And so, the people, the historians look and they think that these fences potentially could have been, 20 or even 30 feet tall, tall fences. But, as again, we think about the heavens. We think about the heavens probably in a different way than what, the ancients thought about things. Let's see if I can pull up this commentary here. Let's see here. Put this up on the screen from this I got two of the same one on here. Oh, I do got two of the same one. Alright, hold on a second. Let me just. This here is Old Testament Light, Lamza, talking about Deuteronomy 9 and 1. He says over here, fenced up to heaven should not be taken literally. Of course, no walls can be erected up to heaven. Fenced up to heaven means very, very high. The walls might have been, very high. Even today, the walls of some of the fenced cities in the Near East are no more than 25 feet, and some of them are even less. For instance, the walls of Damascus and Jerusalem are no more than 20 feet high. In the East, such statements are made to convey an idea to alliterate public and are well understood. And so when we look at these things, understanding that, Moses, we go back in time. People, the way that we speak is the way that people spoke a long time ago. We speak using hyperbole. We say things that are slightly exaggerated for effect, right? And so this is just a first example over here when we're looking at this in terms of, he's trying to say that these cities were great cities. They were, they had these great walls. They possessed these people inside of them that were greater than yourself. He's giving you this for effect. But we can also think about that when it continues on to talk about the people that were in these cities. Because when we go back and see what the people have to say about the inhabitants, they thought they was looking at giants over there. Here, read for us verse 2 right there.
A people great and tall, the descendants of Anakim. Is that the Anunnaki? The Anunnaki. People be calling.
Oh, no, that's somebody else.
Whom you know and whom you heard it said, who does stand before the descendants of Anak.
Okay, so Moses just says who the people are. He names them, says who they were descendants of. And then so if we look at these people here that are descendants of Anak, this word means a necklace, as if strangling, or a chain. It means to choke. It means a collar, like a dog collar, like a choker that's on a dog collar. It has the idea of long neck, right? So these people were men. The Anakim were men, potentially with long necks or high in stature, right? They were big and strong and powerful people, right? But it's interesting the way that Moses describes the people when he talks about them. But then when we go and we hear the way that that the people talk about the people is a lot different. You know, it's interesting when you think about comparing the two descriptions. The way Moses says, they had these people, they're greater and stronger than you. They're great, they're tall, they're the Anakim. They're the descendants of Anak. But if we go over to Numbers, when the spies come out of the land, they got a whole other story that they tell. Read for us verse 32 and 32 and 33.
It says, and they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. It says, and we saw there the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, of the Nephilim, and we're like we are like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes.
Okay, so see, now we got a whole other thing going on, right? It's these great people, they was Nephilim. They taking it all the way back to Genesis on them. These was some Nephilim, right? These people was giants. It says we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. So it wasn't even that they're trying to act like not only did we perceive ourselves to be small like grasshoppers to ourselves compared to them, but they had the same thought about us. But a grasshopper though? That was the comparison. That's the difference between what the people was and the people that was there, like grasshoppers. That's what they really saying. You would think that that's really what they thought, because again, they were fearful and they felt like they wasn't able to go in. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying Caleb and Joshua, would they really believe that they was able to go and destroy a people that was bigger than them, and they was the size of grasshoppers?
Definitely not.
Like that, either they had some super strong faith, right? Mm-hmm. Because a grasshopper to you is like this big.
Yeah. There's
some big.
The ones that we are around, yeah. But on that side of the world,
they might have
some like. You'd be surprised.
I'm saying if you're gonna take a huge giant grasshopper,
yeah,
maybe it's big like a praying mantis, and you need two hands to hold it.
Yeah.
But even still, two hands, you could just be like,
yeah.
So I'm saying that these people was exaggerating the height of these people over here. This is a total exaggeration. This is total hyperbole.
Yeah.
That these people is dealing with in terms of the description of these people. The fear that they had for these people who very well may have been great in size. Even if we're going to say that these people was 8 or 9 feet tall or something like that. It's not grasshoppers, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like them guys is big potentially.
Yeah.
But it's not that big. Right? And so, but the point is that however big they was, Israel didn't have the physical capability to be able to defeat these people. Mm-hmm. And this is the point that Moses is making. You are just this little nation. these people, however big or small that they was, these people are greater than you. But he said that today you're going to cross over, and the Most High. I mean, Moses talking about what the Most High will do in terms of the fact that he will destroy the people, he will subdue the people before you, so that you're able to go over and drive them out. And so let's go back over to Deuteronomy here. Deuteronomy 9. Because this is interesting here. We look at this in verse 3, talking about what it is that the Most High is going to do. Right? He says that Yahweh does destroy them. He'll destroy the people. He'll subdue the people before you. Subdue them so that you can dispossess them and destroy them quickly. What's this mean over here? Let's see what this says here. Destroy, bring down. Let's see, it's probably this here. No, it's Abad. Destroy them quickly. To wander away, that is lose. To perish, destroy, break, destroy. Destruction, escape, perish. To be void. No way to flee. So we see that the Most High is planning on doing all the work, as if to say he's going to go in, he's going to do all the heavy lifting. You just go over there and kind of pick up the pieces after the people, have been weakened by the Most High. He said he's going to destroy them. He's going to subdue them. And then you go over and dispossess them. And so when we think about the fact that what Moses is in there telling the people is that the Most High is able to deal with your enemies in such a way that you'll be able to defeat them, and then you'll be able to drive them out. However, when we look, there's something for you to do. Right? There's something for you to do. He's going to make a way. He's going to pave the way. Right? But we got to go. The people had to go and do a thing. Right? If the Most High went through there and, weakens the enemy and causes for the enemy to be able to be defeated by the people, it wasn't like he sent an angel through and killed the people that was there, right? Israel had to go. There was something for them to do, right? He said he was going to destroy and subdue, but you go in and dispossess and drive them out. Mm-hmm. There was something for Israel to do, right? Mm. And so, we have to think about the fact that the Most High, he will fight for his people. But there is still something that we have to bring to the situation.
We had to go in there and bop people over the head.
That's what we had to do. The Most High might have went ahead and weakened them where normally your strongest bop over their head might not have been nothing to them.
Right.
But you had to literally go over there and do something to these people.
Exactly.
To cause them. He weakened them. But you had to go in, Israel had to go in and dispossess. And so we think about the way in which the Most High provides for us, the way that He protects us. He's not always dealing with us in such a way where He just miraculously does this or that, and you don't have to do anything. There's something that you had to do. He's gonna set the stage. He's gonna make a path for you to walk on, but you got to walk on it. Sometimes we sit around and we wait for these miracles to happen. Meanwhile, the miracle done happened already, but we didn't notice. Right? The miracle happened over here in Deuteronomy, that they're talking about in terms of going over and dispossessing the land. The miracle happened outside of the sight of Israel. He did something to the people before they even got there. So they had to believe that the Most High was truthful in what He said when He just said that I'm going to fight for you. You go over and dispossess them. They could have still got to the place where they got over there and just looked at the people and said, "Man, I ain't fighting them people." And then they won, but they won out of the land. Like there was something for Israel to have done. Sometimes we sit up here and we want for the Most High to come and just drop a blessing off on our lap.
Everything always took action. And He's about action, because He's about information. You gotta remember, like, you look at all these characters in the book, they were always told to do something. It was always action, or it was all. That's how it is. You get the information and you gotta do something with it.
Yeah. Like he might have sent you in the path of a tree, and He might have weakened the stem of the fruit, but you gotta shake the tree so that the fruit could fall, so you can take it, and grab it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be sitting there looking at it, talk about, "I thought you said you was gonna give me something."
Right.
Waiting for something to happen. Meanwhile, He already made it and made it ready for you, but you not taking no action. You're not putting your part into the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we have to think about that in our doings. While we're sitting around waiting for our blessings, not understanding that the Most High already did His part already. But it's necessary for us to go out and do, and take action.
Take action. Yep. And just believe it's going with His word. Like, take His word, use it, and just believe it. Just like I think about Abraham. I'm like, he took Isaac up there and was going to sacrifice him, but but the Most High made whatever the goat or whatever sacrifice. Something happened and it wandered to the path because it was set up that way. You know what I'm saying? And he said, the Most High gonna make a way. Like, He said that He gonna provide the sacrifice, and He did.
Yeah. But if He wouldn't have went up there, He wouldn't have known.
And cause think about if he was like, I gotta sacrifice my son, like. But it was like that faith was there because it was He's gonna provide. He literally had that. He didn't have to go take the actual goat. He's like, bring your son or whatever, and the goat was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like you didn't have to hike with it. I'm bringing the sacrifice for you right here. Where you having that faith.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing the other day. You had posted something on the internet about, preparations. And somebody talking about, kind of, people are funny. Like acting like, we don't have to worry about things that are going on in the world. To a degree, you could say that, because, the wrath of the Most High is not for His people; it's for those that He's against. But if we're living in this world, and we have automobiles, Is he going to magically pour gasoline out of the sky into our containers so that we can use it, or should we go out and get some? I mean, there's certain things that we have to do, in preparation, for we have to take care of the things that we're able to take care of.
Exactly. Right.
And it's really tempting the Most High to not do anything and say, He'll take care of it for me.
Yeah, I don't gotta worry about none of it. I'm blessed.
That's
like,
that would be actually tempting the Most High. That's the same as you jumping off a cliff and saying He'll save me.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly off of this cliff.
With no wings.
Mm-hmm. It looked like He told you to do it though, that way.
Yeah. So there's a thing that we have to do. There's a part that we have to play. He's going to make preparations behind the scenes that we won't even know until we go and fight. Mm-hmm. They had to literally go and fight those people. They didn't just walk up into a place and see like dead bodies scattered all over the place. Mm-hmm. They had to create the dead bodies. Mm-hmm. But the Most High went through and weakened the people so that they were able to defeat these people who were clearly stronger than them. Let's look over at Psalms.
Which is deep too, because now the Most High kind of being humble in that when you beat them people, they gonna think you more powerful than what you are.
Yeah.
But it's really the Most High that is the one. But He's magnifying you by allowing you to even beat them.
Yeah. And so people will be like, Israel went through there and took care of the Anakim.
Right.
They beat the Anakim. I ain't messing with them people.
Yep.
But really, it's the Most High.
Exactly.
Reciprocal action towards Yah requires faith. Yes, we have to, faith is action. Mm-hmm. We can sit up here and say that we believe in this or that. But, we have to, there has to be proof that we believe it.
Show it with your works.
That's it. All right, let's look at Psalms 91. Psalms 91. And read, 1 through 7.
This is okay. Right now, this is it is okay. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, He is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim, in whom I trust. For He delivers you from the snare of the trapper, for the destructive pestilence. He covers you with His feathers, and under His wings you take refuge. His truth is a shield and armor. You are not afraid of the dread by night, of the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that walks in darkness, of destruction that ravages at midday. 1,000 fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near you.
Okay, so there's a lot of preparation over here, right? When we trust in the Most High, we trust in Him. We know that He is our refuge. We know that He is our stronghold. We know that He'll deliver us from things, right? We know that He'll cover us, with His feathers, right? Mm-hmm. We know that we're able to take refuge under His wings, right? We know that His truth is a shield for us. We know all of these things, but after we know all these things, 1,000 will fall at our side. Mm-hmm. And after we know all these things, 10,000 at our right hand. Right after we know all of it and understand all that He's going to do in preparation, then it's necessary for us to go and put our hand to someone. and it's going to be miraculous. 1,000 is going to fall at our side. and 10,000 at our right hand.
Yep.
But not before we put our trust in the Most High. And this is in verse 7 is the manifestation of our faith.
Mm-hmm.
Because it don't make sense for us to face 1,000 and they fall at our side.
Right.
It don't make sense for us to face 10,000 and them to fall at our right hand.
Yeah.
But through the power of the Most High, we're able to do it. But you must believe first that he's able to be a refuge and a stronghold for you first. You know, these are things, when we look at these things, this is not just David here writing these beautiful songs. Right? He's talking about something that actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These are things that he's writing about after the fact. After he's already exhibited his faith in the Most High, in action. After he goes and he looks at a giant, and he's like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that's sitting up there talking to us like he got some power over us, like we supposed to do what he want for us to do.
Yeah.
Little David, who's not even a soldier at this time.
Yeah.
He just believes in his Elohim.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And when we think about David in his battles, by the time he gets to the place of writing things like this, he's put these things into action.
Yeah. Knowing
that yes, he's facing these unsurmountable odds. But that don't got nothing to do with the one in whom he puts his trust and faith, who is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who is able to do and get him through all of these different situations. All right, let's look over here. First John. First John and 4. Read down to verse 6.
My beloved ones, do not believe every spirit, but prove the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know that the spirit of Elohim, every spirit that confesses that Yeshua Messiah has come in the flesh is of Elohim. And every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua Messiah has come in the flesh is not of Elohim. And is the spirit, and this is the spirit of the anti-Messiah, which you heard is coming, and now it's already in the world. You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. They are of the world, therefore they speak as the world, and the world hears them. We are of Elohim. The one knowing Elohim hears us. He who is not of Elohim does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of the truth and the truth of the delusion.
So there is a spiritual understanding that we have to have. And this is one of the things that we're seeing over here being spoken by John. In fact, when he goes into the idea of, testing the spirits, right? And knowing those that, truly are of Messiah, having this spiritual understanding, dealing with the fact that, we who are in this world, we're not of this world, but at the same time we do have to deal with things that are going on in the world. And if we look at verse 3 through 5.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not fight according to the flesh. For the weapons we fight with are not fleshly, but mighty in Elohim for overthrowing strongholds, overthrowing reasonings, and every high matter that exalts itself against the knowledge of Elohim, taking captive every thought to make it obedient to the Messiah.
Okay, now this over here, all these things agree, but what we have to understand is that these are the things that we deal with first in terms of having, things dealt with from a spiritual perspective first. Because, again, we got to go and fight. There's something for us to do from a physical perspective. But before we do that, we got to take care of these things first. Understanding that behind all of these physical things that we may face is, these spiritual things, right? These spiritual things, these principalities, as it says over in Ephesians chapter 6. Or read it from verse 10 there.
It says, for the rest, my brothers, be strong in the master and in the mightiness of his strength. Put on the complete armor of Elohim, for you have to for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil, because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual matters of wickedness in the heavenlies.
Okay, so, something that we have to keep in mind is that
Jacob,
these things are true in terms of understanding that there's spiritual principalities and authorities that are working behind the scenes. But at the same time, we also have to think about the fact that if Israel over back in Deuteronomy chapter 9 was just to say that all we got to do is sit up here and just understand that the Most High is going to fight for us from a spiritual perspective, how was Israel going to go over and dispossess the land? They was defeated in the spirit first.
right?
And then they was able to go ahead over and take control. But they was defeated. The principalities and the authorities of these world rulers and the darkness of this age was taken care of first and foremost. And then now they was able to go and defeat the people. Right? And so we have to not think, because there was a group of people, back in these days that, kind of over spiritualized things. They was called the Gnostics. They only thought about things from like a spiritual perspective. With no balance, right? We can look at these verses that is saying over here, like we just read in 2 Corinthians and like we just read in Ephesians, and think that all we have to do is just, have these spiritual battles only. And I'm not saying that we don't have the spiritual battles, but after we're done with the spiritual battle, then the physical one gonna come after that.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna actually have to go and take some physical action in some way, shape, or form. And so those people, they secluded themselves and they were so spiritual. They, they was, they stopped getting married and having babies, and then they just was over there. Once you do that, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't exist but for so long
Right.
if you don't continue.
Mm-hmm.
We exist in this physical realm, and so yes, we have to deal with these spiritual powers and principalities in high and low places. But once we've dealt with these things, now we got to deal with the other half, because these spiritual things that's going on, this spiritual wickedness, these things are within physical people.
Mm-hmm.
It's physical people that's working and moving and doing the work of the enemy. And so, again, we have to take care of the physical part. I mean, the spiritual part first, and then we're able to go and deal with the physical aspects. When we think about the fact that we see over in Ephesians talking about we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Flesh and blood is not the motivator, right? It's not the thing that's steering the ship. Right, it's the spirit that lies within these wicked people.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with that part of it first and foremost. And then we go and move forward. Yeah. And so we see that example over in Deuteronomy, where the Most High said He's going to go and destroy the people. He's going to go and and weaken this nation, and then you go and dispossess them. Okay, so let's go back to Deuteronomy, because we want to deal with the other side of this now. Because when the Most High has us destroying these people that are greater than ourselves, it might cause us to feel a certain kind of way. Let's see here. Read for us again verse 4.
Do not think in your heart after Yahweh your Elohim has driven them out before you, saying, because of my righteousness, Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land, but it is because of the wrong of these nations that Yahweh is driving them out from before you.
Okay, very good. So, we have to take care. We have to take care within ourselves not to allow for the strength and the power that the Most High gives to us, that it don't cause us to feel a certain kind of way about ourselves, because after all, He's the one that's doing the fighting. Right? He went in there first and got him tired. I just thought about, I went over and helped my father-in-law with something. He had to get his faucet taken apart. And, he was saying that he was trying to turn this thing for however he couldn't turn it. And I go up there and get the tool and just kind of just turn the thing, right? Mm-hmm. But, I said that, he just, he loosened it up for me before I got there. Right? And so when we think about what is going on in the spirit realm, whenever we deal with these things, these challenges, these situations that we face, the Most High ahead of us is he's warming the situation up for you, right? He's getting everything ready and right for you to go in and win.
What's funny, not to cut you off real quick, how it was a little image of it when we left Egypt. They took their riches and whatnot, but right now in the economy, you got all these nations collecting their gold. They all putting it together and calculating how much everybody got. And I'm like, they just getting it together for us. We about to take all of that. They think, you know what I mean? They gonna continue to do all this. I'm like, they are gathering the world's resources for us so they can easily bring it to us. I'm like, that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. And again, when you think about these things, there are things that are going on in the spirit realm. Right, the Most High said how He's going to have things play out, and at the end of the day, it's just going to take for us to go and do the follow through. It's like when we think about thinking about Egypt, coming out of Egypt, the Most High had the people's hearts ready, where they was able to just be willing to just say, "Here, take my stuff." When it said that Israel went through and borrowed the riches of Egypt.
I'm doing a little of that right now. I'm borrowing stuff. Get ready to get out of here.
Yeah, right.
But when you think about it, the people's from internals, from a spiritual standpoint, their heart was made ready already to give their goods over to Israel on their way out the door. All of the things that the Most High did with Egypt in terms of the plagues and all that prepared the hearts of the people to where whenever Israel was like, can I get your riches? They was like, yes, please, here.
Get out of here.
Take it all.
Yeah.
Take everything I got.
Yeah.
But that's just things going on in the spirit realm first, and then Israel with the follow through after. But we have to be sure and careful not to allow for the blessings that the Most High bestows upon us to cause us to get into the realms of conceit. Look over here at Proverbs and 18. Read verse 11.
It says, the rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination.
All right, so we look at verse 11. This translation translates this word into imagination. The King James says over here, conceit. Right? These things that are going on within his own mind. But it's interesting to look, the rich man's wealth, his wealth, that's his strong city. Right? That wealth that he has, that physical thing that he possesses, that is his high wall in his own conceit, in his own imagination. But look at verse 10 right here.
And so the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe.
The name of Yahweh, that's our strong tower there. The thing that we run to is the Most High. The thing that we run to is the creator of all things. Yah, who is a spirit. Right? And so when we think about who we are, again, created in the image of the Most High, the things that we have to deal with first and foremost is not the things that we're able to see and feel and touch, but is the Most High. Right? This is who we put our trust in. This is where we go to find safety. Right? We know that we are able to turn to the Most High, and He's able to strengthen us internally, which will allow for us to externally defeat any foe that comes about. But again, we have to be sure that we don't allow for the things that the Most High does for us to cause us to get into, this conceit, this high-mindedness. Because again, we looked over and we just read in 2 Corinthians, where it said, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Elohim. There's things that the Most High will even strengthen us and cause us to be able to do, which could potentially cause us to look at ourselves and see the things that we've been able to accomplish, and we mess around and allow for our carnal mind to rise up and tell us that these things was done by ourselves. But we, through the Spirit, are supposed to, as our carnality begins to rise up inside of us, is to take a hold of that thing and cast that thing down and cause it to know that the only reason why we was able to do thus and so is because of the Most High.
Yep.
Romans. Let's look over at Romans. Read for us. Let's see here. Starting at verse 17.
And if some of the branches were broken off, and you, being a wild olive tree, have been grafted in among them, and came to share the root and fatness of the olive tree, do not boast against the branches. And if you boast, remember, you do not bear the root, but the roots bear you. You shall say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in. Good. By unbelief they were broken off, and you stand by belief. Do not be arrogant, but fear. For if Elohim did not spare the natural branches, he might not spare you either.
Okay, so we see over here, we deal with, the way in which the Most High, operates. No matter if you a wild branch or if you a natural branch, at the end of the day, you a branch. And so for one branch to look at another branch and to say, I'm the best branch, I'm better than you, he said over here, do not boast against the branches. Because the branch don't bear the branch, the root bears you. When we think about the root is the Most High. We think about the fact that over there in verse 20, what did we read down to? 22?
21.
I'm going to fall. Read 22.
See then the kindness and sharpness of Elohim on those who fell sharpness, but toward your kindness, if you continue in his kindness, otherwise you also shall be cut off.
Hold on, this is not the right verbiage.
The King James?
Sometimes I just gotta hear
What
the King's English.
Let
Let me just make sure that's the verse I'm looking for. let me just make sure here.
$7.70.
Oh no, the 22 wasn't the verse. What I'm looking for is hold on a second here. Where do it say talk about the fatness? Maybe it just behold the goodness and severity of He.
11:17 talks about fatness.
Hold on, let's see what this say. Oh, that's right. I'm looking at this and it's like cut off, it goes to the next. Yeah, that's it, 17. So it starts off with that. Partakers of the root and the fatness of the olive tree. So all of the goodness, when we think about a tree and a root, if a tree don't have sufficient root system, it can't survive.
No.
That's where all the nutrients and everything come from and through the roots. So the root and the fatness is the thing that sustains, that bears up the branches. And so, he's trying to say that, the branches aren't the things that bear up the tree. The roots is the thing that bears up the tree, and the goodness and the severity of Elohim. He said, behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of Elohim. That is the thing that holds up the tree. And so the branches don't have the right to be able to sit up there and to speak against the branches, whether it be natural or wild. And so all this to say that when we think about this idea of the goodness of the Most High that we enjoy, we can't allow that to cause us to become high-minded and conceited about who we are, because at the end of the day, we not where we are because of who we are, but who the Most High said that the way in which he said that he was going to deal with us. Mm-hmm. We're here because of what the Most High has done, not because of what we have done. So he wants to, over here we see the apostle, wants it to be known that we can't be out here getting it twisted. It's not you, because you at your core are wicked and stiff-necked person, but by the power that the Most High has bestowed upon you, but the goodness of Elohim, this is the reason why you're able to go and do and be who the Most High will have for you to be. Yep. That's the lesson that we see over in Deuteronomy chapter 9 with that Moses wants to give the people. Don't sit up here and look at yourself and your own righteousness and what you feel like you have done, because at the end of the day, y'all the same people who sat up there and made a golden calf. Y'all people wicked and stubborn. You was able to go over and you'll be able to go over and destroy these people, because I'm going to go over there first and make them weak so that you could go over and win. And so we can't look at the things that the Most High has allowed for us to do and forget that He's the one that allowed for us to do it in the first place.
And it's important to remember that because look at what happened with Moses. He gave
the
honor,
exact same thing that happened.
and he couldn't even get to the promised land because of that offense. To make him think that he the one that has that power. Like, you know what I mean? I'm crack this rock that made the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just that the examples right there. So yeah, like to be boasting and be like, yeah, I still got a problem when brothers be like, "What's up, King?" And I'm like, we ain't no kings, man. I'm like, let's keep it a buck. I'm going to work tomorrow. Kings don't go to work. You know what I mean? Kings don't. I'm like, I can't even play that game. Like, yeah, king. Yeah. No, that's when the stuff is established. He gonna determine who a king. Because it matters when he say who's a king and who ain't a king.
He give you the crown.
Yeah, that's the official title. Now we just playing down here.
And you still gonna cast that crown down. You gonna throw that crown down at the end.
Yeah. That's what it says. It say that. That's the Bible right here. Okay, so we got to watch our step out here, right? Because yes, the Most High has indeed chose us for a purpose, but we got to think about what that purpose is, right? Read 5 and 6 right there.
It says, and now if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the peoples, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a reign of priests and a set apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to the children of Israel.
If we think about a whole nation of priests, what do a whole nation of priests do? If there's not like a people besides the priests. Like if everybody's the priests, everybody's the ones who's going, the priests go and they perform the service of the Most High for the people. But if everybody's a priest, who gets served?
You got to branch out now.
Who gets served, right? The priest is there to serve. And so if you got a whole nation of servants, somebody got to go and do the work.
Yeah.
And so he's saying that you'll be a kingdom of priests and a set apart nation for what? For what though? Just unto yourselves?
Exactly.
But he told us over in Deuteronomy that the people are going to look at you and the things that you do, and and they're going to see you walking out the Torah and say, "Oh, what a wise and understanding Elohim that you serve." They're going to say that based on what they see you doing. And so when we think about, the purpose of us walking in righteousness, is not just for the simple fact. It's so that it's for, like it said over in Deuteronomy, it's not because of your righteousness, but it's because of the wickedness of the nations. It's not because you so righteous. It's because the nations is so wicked and something got to be done about this wickedness.
Yeah.
It's not because you're so righteous. That's what he said. It's because of the wickedness of the nation. So we talk about a kingdom of priests. You supposed to be a priest unto the nations. You supposed to benefit. The benefits are not self-serving. If you're a priest, the benefits are not self-serving. The priest, he went and he cleansed himself so that he was able to go and cleanse the people. Like the whole reason why he was able, he participated in the process of cleansing his own self was so that he was able to do the work that benefited somebody other than his own self.
Yep.
The benefits of the priest wasn't self-serving. And so when we look at, the plan for the people of the Most High, when he first getting ready to talk to them in Exodus chapter 19, he's saying that the whole nation is going to be a nation of priests set apart unto me. The same thing they say over in, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's the same idea over in First Peter chapter 2 and 9, right?
It says, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set apart nation, a people for a possession, that you should proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light."
Here go the kicker right here.
I'm about to say that. We gotta talk about that.
You are this, so that you could proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. That's the kicker. We want to sit up here and talk about being chosen and being a royal priesthood, a set apart nation, and his people of his possession, his favorite jewel. But all that is to say that you, because of all of that, should proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. It's for a purpose. Mm-hmm. It's for a reason that's more than just you. The only reason why you was called is so that you could participate in the calling of others.
That's 1,000.
Right? So what's the point of you sitting up here talking about how good and righteous you are? But that's not the end of it. That's not the end of it. It's just the beginning.
Or going up to the other nations and saying, we're better than you. I hear that.
You're the most wicked, cursed people. But y'all don't got nothing. Y'all scattered across the world under all nations. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And so if you want to sit up here and talk about being a king, okay. But what do a king do? A king establishes and maintains order. A king will establish and maintain order. So if you want to talk about that, okay, whatever, then if that's what you want to say. All right, but where's the order that you establishing and maintaining? Where's that at?
Where's your kingdom? Where you rolling?
I mean,
where's this
righteous,
there's that righteous place that you king over?
I mean, that one, you can't have one without the other, right? You can't have a king without a kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You degrading the term now. Now a king don't mean nothing now. You calling everybody a king. Now you just took the word out, like, it don't mean nothing now if we all kings.
This thing that we have been blessed to be a part of is something that is not about us, but it's about the kingdom and us expanding the Most High's kingdom. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not about us. Right? It's about the collective. So when we look at these things that the Most High has called for us to be a royal priesthood, the priests serve. The priests teach the people. Right? The priests lead the people in the way that they should go. Right? The priest stands in the gap for the people. Yeshua, look what Yeshua said over here in Matthew. Oh, that's not Matthew. This is Matthew. What did I say? 13 through 16.
It says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt becomes tasteless, how shall it be seasoned? for it's no longer of any use but to be thrown out and to be trodden down by men. You are the light of the world. It is impossible for a city to be hidden on a mountain, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it shines to all those in the house. Let your light shine. Let your light so shine before men, so that they see your good works and praise your Father who is in the heavens.
So when we talk about salt by itself is bad almost. Like what if I just had a bowl of salt? Like what I'm gonna do with that only?
Cure some meat or something.
Well, even that, you're doing something with the salt.
Yeah.
Right? Salt is made to do something with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing that it's there for, is to be used for something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's going to bring out the goodness, the flavors of a thing. That salt is, right? Light, light shows the way. Right? It removes darkness. There's a purpose. And so even in these verses here, we're talking about this light. What good is the light if you take the light and you put it under the stand? Mm-hmm. You're not going to put the light under a basket. You're going to put it on the lampstand so it could be seen. You're not going to put a cover over top of the light so that the light is not shining. You're going to use the light for what is to be used for. And so again, we think about the idea of Israel. The Most High has given Israel these ways to live so that Israel could be a light to the world, to mankind. Mm-hmm. Because the world is wicked.
Yeah.
Not because of your wickedness, not because of your righteousness, but because of the wickedness of the nations. You are here to be used by the Most High for His purposes. Mm-hmm. For His purposes. What does it say over here? Psalm 119 and 74. What does it say?
It says, those who fear you see me and rejoice, for I have waited for your word.
Yeah, that's, when we think about the Most High and the things that He has provided for us, it provides for us a place of rejoicing and happiness because of the fact that He brought us out from where we was. Just the simple fact that the Most High took us from wherever it was that we were and brought us to wherever we are right now is something to rejoice about. Mm-hmm. And if if we are all honest with ourselves, we're able to look and see and understand, what it is that the Most High actually did for us. You should know more than anybody in the whole world the things that the Most High has done in bringing you out of darkness into His marvelous light. Because when we're able to look at ourselves and in light of the Most High, we're able to really see and understand the wickedness that lies within. And so just seeing the place where the Most High has brought us from is in fact something to rejoice about, and is also something that again we think about it, that should cause for us to understand that he is the one that's doing this work, and it's not of our own selves.
Right.
It's because of the thing that he has done for us. Okay, so when we think about over in Deuteronomy chapter 9, where Moses is talking to the people, don't go over there and think that this is all about you. Don't make it be about you. It's only about the one who is able to save you. It's only about the Most High. Right? Let's look at a couple verses over here. Let's look at... let's go over to Hebrews. Moses is trying to get these people to learn this valuable lesson. Right? That your righteousness is the righteousness that the Most High gave you. Read Hebrews 5, start at verse 7.
Okay.
Go down to verse 10.
Okay. Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and petitions with strong crying and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his reverent fear. Though being a son, he learned obedience by what he suffered, and having been perfected, he became the Caesar of everlasting deliverance to all those obeying him, having been designated by Elohim a high priest according to the order of Melchizedek.
Okay, very good. So when we look at Yeshua and what it is that he has done for us, understand that the thing that Yeshua did makes him the one that's able to he is the one that's able to save you. Yeshua, right? He's the one that's able to save you because of what he has done. It's not because of what you've done. All you did was trust in the saving power of who Yeshua is. So no matter what it is, what thing that he's able to get you through or cause you to be a overcomer in, at the end of the day, he caused you to be an overcomer in that thing. Read verse 21 right there.
Therefore put away all filthiness and overflow of evil, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save. Become doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves.
He said, receive with meekness the implanted word. The implanted word is the Ruach HaKodesh. It's that word inside of you, but he said receive it with meekness. We can't receive the implanted word with meekness, which, by the way, is able to save your lives. We can't receive the implanted word with meekness and then become high-minded at the same time.
Yeah.
Those two things are opposites of each other.
I notice people that do that, they get to a certain level of information, then they stop. They can't go past that. They get stuck, and then they can't see the rest of this, because it's the word, the spirit is infinite. It's like it's so you can't know it all. Like once he starts flowing, so people get to know so much, and it do be above most the average person, but they can only stop there because they think they're at the pinnacle of it. When the Most High can increase you beyond what you can imagine, the more meek you are.
Yeah. Your inability to to be able to submit yourself to the actual character of this implanted word that's getting implanted in you is going to stop you from doing the thing that's going to have for you to do. The word inside of you, you're receiving it with meekness, but to be able to walk in it also cause you also need meekness to walk in it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have humility and humbleness to be able to listen and be obedient to what the word is having for you to do. Mm-hmm. So when we think about the idea of receiving this implanted word with meekness, it's not like it's a one-time thing. Like it's a continual.
Yep.
It's a continual process.
And you gotta be and it's something you gotta exercise. Like, because a lot of times it don't come. Once you practice it enough, it becomes easy. But most people don't have that. You know, as a child, children don't got the meekness like that you're supposed to have like in the walk. You know, so yeah.
I mean, you could be as book smart and scripture versed as you want to be, but if you don't got if you don't have the basics, which are meekness, being humble, you know what I mean? These things are the basics. You done skip the basics, and you all heady and high-minded and puffed up. Mm-hmm. You got to go back and humble yourself.
Right. Because those things they can't coexist with each other. Because we talk the implanted word. The Ruach HaKodesh is the character of the Most High. Mm-hmm. And when we walk in this character, it causes us to be a certain kind of way, and high-mindedness and conceitedness and being carried away in our own imaginations about ourselves don't coincide with the character of the Most High.
What do you think? Do you think the Most High would want us to be well-versed in the Scripture, be able to run it off, or be humble?
Well, hopefully you don't got to choose between the two. But if you had to choose between the two, it would be being humble.
Right.
If you had to choose.
Right.
But you got to be able to explain what it is that you believe. But, you know, if you're forcing me to choose, then it got to be humbleness. Right? Because that is actually the character. When we think about the person who was the closest to the Most High, it was Moses. Who there wasn't nobody that was more humble than Moses. Yeah. And the thing that caused him not to be able to go over into the land was the lack of him walking out the character that he was known for, which was his humility.
I mean, Moses could have been like, because you know how people are today, like they're not even the man, right? But they're just the man next to the man. And now how they be acting like,
they're not even
what?
the man.
What you say? Like, you know who I am? And you're just the man next to the man. Moses could have been like that. But he was nothing like that.
He could have been the king.
Yeah.
And in the new land, like
I mean, he essentially was.
Well, he was. He was the nomad king out there. He had him out there on a journey, like getting them there.
But it's interesting when he steps outside of that. That's the thing that closes the door for him in terms of going over into the land.
Right.
And so he's telling the people now, don't sit up here and do what I did and think that the power that has been that you've become a steward over originates with you. What's James 4:12 say?
It says, there is one lawgiver and judge who is able to save and to destroy. Who are you to judge another?
The one lawgiver and judge is Yeshua. Mm-hmm. He's the one who's able to save. So he's the one who has the power. He's the one that you receive your power from. And so again, this lesson that Moses is giving to the people in terms of showing them their wickedness with the golden calf and telling them, don't sit up here and think that it's about you and your righteousness, but it's really about the wickedness of the people. He wanted to eradicate this wicked nation, and he wants to start a real nation that's walking in his character, so that the people are able to look and see this nation that he has created and turn themselves from their wickedness, right? Not to he so many times, the Most High so many times gives to the people of Israel the words of not going and making themselves be like these other nations. And that's what we always, for whatever reason, ended up doing, and it was always our downfall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at 2 Timothy 3:1 through 5.
It says, "But know this, that in the last days hard times shall come. For men shall be lovers of self, lovers of silver, boisterous, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, thankless, wrongdoers, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, fierce, haters of good, betrayers, reckless, puffed up, lovers of pleasure than lovers of Elohim, having a form of reverence but denying its power, and turn away from these."
Okay, so let's see here. When we look at, we're talking about high-mindedness, conceitedness, puffed upness is on this list of things that people, all of these things really is just what happens inside of your carnal mind. These things that your carnality wants for you to be doing. And none of these things have anything to do with the character of the Most High. And so again, we think about this idea of people, and our own righteousness. It's not about our own righteousness. It's not about the righteousness that we possess, but it's about the wickedness of the nations, right? There's no point in us sitting around and us all just being a light. A light for what? We have to become a light to the nations, right? There's no point in us all becoming salt. Salt for what? So that something can become seasoned, right? We have to be about, like little young Yeshua said, about our Father's business. All right, a couple more verses here. 2 Corinthians 5:21. What's that say?
"For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of Elohim."
Okay, interesting. So in him, we become the righteousness of Elohim. So he's the reason, by which we actually become the righteousness of Elohim. Not because of something that's inside of us, because we know that the scripture talks about us and our righteousness and says, here, what does it say in Isaiah? This is really interesting, disgusting when you think about it. In Isaiah talks to us about our righteousness that we have inside of us. 2 Corinthians talk about the righteousness that we get from Yeshua. But what does that say? Isaiah 64, 4-6.
"Since the beginning of the ages, they have not heard nor perceived by the ear, nor has the eye seen any Elohim besides you, who acts for those who wait for him. You shall meet him who rejoices, and does righteousness, who remembers you in your ways. See, you were wroth when we sinned in them a long time, and should we be saved? And all of us have become as one unclean, and all our righteousness are as soiled rags. And all of us fade like a leaf, and our crookedness, like the wind, have taken us away.
Okay, very good. So when we think about this whole idea of these soiled rags, being this unclean person, like this is talking about, this is a nasty rag right here. It's nasty, right? It's the most filthiest, nasty thing that you could think about, right? But this is what our righteousness is compared to, right? Our righteousness is compared to this thing that causes people, it causes other people to be unclean. Like it's comparing it to this thing that if you was to be in touch with this thing it caused you to be unclean. Right. It's this uncleanness that's contagious. The uncleanness is contagious. But this is what your righteousness is compared to. This thing that can't make you clean. It can't make you right. In fact, it makes you unclean. So your righteousness doesn't have anything to do with righteousness, but actually causes something that's, the opposite of that. That's what you are able to do within your own self. But when we think about 2 Corinthians, talking about the fact that we might be made into through the one who became sin, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of Elohim in him. When we're in him, right, it causes us to be the thing that he would have for us to be. And so there's a way for us to be. That way is in fact a way of righteousness. But we can't never get to the place where we look at the things that we are doing, the lives that we live, and forget the way in which we've attained this thing that we have, right? Because when we look over at Romans chapter 4, let's look at a couple more of these verses here. Look at Romans chapter 4. Read verse, let's see here, 20 down through 20, down to the end of the chapter there.
He did not hesitate about the promise of Elohim through unbelief.
Abraham is he. Abraham is the he, right? Go ahead.
But was strengthened in belief, giving esteem to Elohim, and being completely persuaded that that what he had promised, he was also able to do. Therefore, also, it was reckoned to him for righteousness, and not because of him alone was it written that it was reckoned to him, but also because of us, to whom it shall be reckoned, to us who have believed in him, who raised up Yeshua, our master, from the dead, who was delivered up because of our trespasses, and was raised for us to be declared right.
Okay, very good. So when we think about this over here, and we think about this idea of what's being talked about here, this idea of righteousness being reckoned or imputed or credited to you, right? If you got a righteousness debit card, you've had righteousness credited to your account. Right? Because of your faith in Yeshua, you got this empty account that by itself is just like filthy rags. By itself is nothing. It's worse than nothing. It's negative. It's taking you into the red. It's literally taking you into the red. No pun intended. Oh my goodness. But the Most High, through your belief in Yeshua, is taking that card and putting some righteousness to your account.
Giving you some credit.
You got some righteousness credits on your account that he gave you. He put it over there. It's not because of something that you did, because you didn't do nothing. But all you did was believe in Yeshua and what he is able to do for you. That affords you credits, debits to your accounts, right? And so it's not the only reason why it's your righteousness is because it was given to you. In that regards, it is your righteousness because you own it now because he's given it to you. But it did not originate from you, but you just now became the possessor of it. Okay? And so when we think about Moses, when he's speaking to the people, you know, they will become conquerors of nations. But he's just trying to let them know, don't sit up here and allow for the things that the Most High is doing through you, the things that he's using you to do. Don't allow those things to cause you to forget how you got here in the first place. And the same thing is true for us. The Most High brings us, he's brought each and every one of us a mighty long way. And he continues to do so. But we can't allow for the immense blessings that the Most High bestows upon us to cause us to forget that it's not about us. It's about the Most High and what he has done for us.
I think that's why, you know, like the last tribes that were around during the time of Yeshua, they forgot. They forgot what it was about. And that's why they had to be done the way they were done. Because they lost sight of the mission and lost sight of what it was. And I know who it was that they served.
Yeah. And so we can't fall into that same trap. You know, we have to, you know, continually be able to understand that, first of all, it's not about us and our righteousness. It's not even about the righteousness that we are imputed, the righteousness that we receive from Yeshua. Because that righteousness is only given to us so that we're able to show others the way to righteousness. We have to be able to understand that this life that we live is not solely about us. It's only about us to the point where we're able to cause others to be where we are. That's what this thing is about. It's about you finding your way to the destination, and then you helping other people to get to the destination.
I mean, it's so clear cut for the wicked. You know, when they learn the ways of the wicked, ain't no, you know, they ain't double minded. They ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't flip flopping. They wicked.
Yeah, they all the way wicked, and all they want to do is be propagators of wickedness.
Right. But for this side of things, it's like we all over the place.
Yeah. Like it's just, I mean, it's just a natural thing. You know, within nature, things want to multiply. If some algae or some fungus can figure it out, we don't even think. It just naturally multiplies itself. Why can't we do that? We talking about we being we propagators of light and life.
Would you say wickedness is the natural state of man?
Yeah, it is. Wickedness is the natural state.
I mean, think about it. That's
Because
the natural.
it's just selfishness. At the end of the day, it's selfishness. I don't got to teach my baby how to be selfish. He already knows how to be it. He's naturally that. And so, you know, you got grown adults who never been connected to the Most High. At the end of the day, their deeds are selfish. It's just about, you know, feeding that carnal mind.
So, because Ebony was talking about this. We were talking about the children. It was like, you're basically just an animal, right? That you're teaching. You're just training an animal to be a person. Right? I mean,
At the end of the day.
so I'm like sitting here thinking like the Most High just want humans on the planet, like, because you can't operate on this planet like being a dysfunctional human. You'll destroy stuff, like you just mess it up.
You have to be able to show self-control and just wisdom and humility, and these things, they're essential to a functioning place, a place that is functional.
I'm like how they crafted this place to be like it's dysfunctional, but they put just enough in that it don't go out of bounds, like that they don't come down. Like
They created.
that's amazing. Now
They created this idea that they want the normal people to abide by. Like, oh yeah, don't kill, don't do it. You know what I mean? They take from the Bible that.
yeah,
But then they do all that stuff.
yeah,
It's like there's like two worlds inside.
and they use money,
Yes,
so they can keep these people here to do like.
it's crazy.
These people are real smart how they set all this up. Because you got righteousness
Satan
and wickedness.
sure is.
And yeah, because he straddles the line. Because he'll use a lot of this. He'll use righteous things and flip it. But the wicked stuff, he give concessions over to. But now, and so you can watch it through the time, through the decades. Because now, a man, the transgender is like, no, they're really trying to make it normal.
Right. You're abnormal. Something's wrong with you.
And like you're like, no, you're a dude. Like no, let's be real. That's a tree. Yeah. You're a dude. It's not. It's it don't gotta be no crazy. They're really trying to play mind games. It's crazy.
Can get in the ring with a dude
female.
Call himself a female. Get in the ring with a woman.
Beat her up.
Brains out. And this is normal.
But if you do that down the street, the cops is taking you to jail. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It definitely is crazy. But at the end of the day, it's wickedness and it's darkness.
Yeah.
And you know, we have to be able to be a light.
Right.
And that light has a purpose. That light has a mission. You know, we have been commissioned to shine a light in this dark world. And we could sit up here all day and talk about, you know, all of the darkness that there is.
Yeah.
Because there's
until we get out of here, yeah.
There's plenty of it out there.
It's
yeah,
endless.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, but
eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But you know, we have been called to, you know, to make a mark and to cause people to come over out of darkness into this marvelous light. Just always remembering the way that we make it. The only way that we make it is through Yeshua and what it is that he's done for us. So just like Moses has admonished Israel as Israel gets ready to go over, he's saying, you're going to go over and do some magnificent things over here, things that you didn't even realize that you was able to do. But just know that the only way that you was able to do those things was through the power of the Most High. And so, we just have to remember to be able to remain grounded, in the root, as we are indeed just the branches. And the power, that we have, that we receive, is all something that's been given to us for a particular purpose, and that purpose is expanding the kingdom of the Most High. Right. So that being said, anybody have any last questions or comments about any of these things here? Okay, so that being the case, for now, we will say Shabbat Shalom. Y'all
Shabbat
willing,
Shalom.
we'll be back on next Shabbat. Don't forget to hit that share this video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave some comments in the comments section, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can know when we coming out with our new videos. All right, so y'all willing, we'll be back on next Shabbat with some more. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.